Epidemic is a frightening word, but it's appropriate.
The state is now calling the West Nile virus an epidemic. One person has died in Kent County, another 25 people of the virus in that county. And tonight we're also learning of the first case in Kalamazoo County, along with one case apiece in Muskegon, Ottawa, and Allegan counties.
In Grand Rapids, city workers are trying to keep you safe by dropping pellets in storm drains in an attempt to kill mosquitoes before they can infect you. The city is treating areas where there are known cases of West Nile, and almost all of those areas have something in common.
24 Hour News 8's Steve Kelso discovered today that where you live can put you at greater risk for getting the virus.
Well, that would certainly seem to be the conclusion of the study that I read today. But to get the answers directly, I went to Michigan State University today and talked with one of the authors. From the research you've done, then, you are comfortable saying that there is a relationship to where you live and how susceptible you are to West Nile.
Right, but it's not how susceptible, but your risk of being exposed.
At Dr. Ned Walker's lab at MSU, they track the presence of West Nile virus in mosquito samples from across the state. A couple of years ago, a curious trend emerged. The conclusion? If you live in a neighborhood where the bulk of the homes were built between 1940 and 1960, your West Nile risk can increase as much as tenfold. Why is that? Well, for answers, I took Dr. Walker from his lab and into a neighborhood that fit the criteria.
There are really three things. One is the high density housing, so there are a lot of people together. The second thing is the tree structure, because birds are a really important component to this disease system. And then the other main, perhaps most important thing is where do the mosquitoes come from in the first place, and it's these street catch basins.
That's because the breed of mosquito that carries West Nile loves to lay eggs in dirty, murky water, the kind of water that collects in these basins.
Today we have 8 people throughout the city larviciding the various areas.
The city of Grand Rapids puts the larvicide in areas where there are confirmed cases, and so far, those areas, with very few exceptions, fall into exactly the types of neighborhoods Dr. Walker is talking about. That's not to say that you can't pick up West Nile virus anywhere. This study was conducted in the cities of Detroit and Chicago, but the doctor says that it would seem that it would apply to any urban setting in the Midwest. What can you do with this information? Well, it's really a question of awareness, and now knowing where the problem seems to stem from may lead communities to change the way they do their infrastructure, or more likely, how they go about mosquito eradication efforts. Live in Grand Rapids, Steve Kelso, 24 Hour News 8.